Hey guys, this is Josh the Top Hat Gamer, and this week I'm reviewing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. The general consensus these days seems to be that the Call of Duty franchise has been run into the ground like Guitar Hero and Tony Hawk Pro Skater before it, but this year Activision is stepping past the Modern Warfare battlegrounds and into the future. Is the promise of Advanced Warfare enough to bring COD back to life for at least one more year? In short, the answer appears to be yes. Sledgehammer Games have brought their A-game to the table as far as the main campaign goes, and it shows. The story throws us 40 years into the future, into the boots of Jack Mitchell, a US Marine who, during a battle in South Korea, loses his arm in an explosion, as well as his friend Will Irons. We learn that Will's father, Jonathan Irons, is the CEO of the world's largest PMC organization, known as Atlas, and he offers Mitchell a brand new prosthetic arm and a second chance in his own personal army. The story then follows your standard Call of Duty plot for a moment. You're tasked with tracking down and stopping a lethal terrorist known as Hades, following him across the globe and into constant danger. But all is not as it seems, and while I won't spoil them here, the plot twists, while easily guessed, will keep your interest in the game's campaign for the duration. Advanced Warfare's story is kept entertaining by the use of well-performed CG cutscenes, which is a breath of fresh air in this series. While we aren't completely rid of the intel dump scenes, they're far outnumbered by the more engaging performances of voice actor extraordinaire Troy Baker, and especially Kevin Spacey. Spacey just steals every scene he's in, and his performance is only enhanced by the sheer quality of the CG. Maybe I'm crazy, but it feels like the uncanny valley is slowly disappearing. The game's sound design is also excellent. As mentioned before, the voice acting is great, guns and explosions sound powerful, and the game's score sets the tone pretty well. If you were getting a Metal Gear Solid vibe, then it might not surprise you to learn that the music was composed by Harry Gregson Williams. Granted, it is a little hard to hear over the constant action in Advanced Warfare. Despite its futuristic setting, the game mostly boils down to the same gameplay as previous games in the series. Follow your squad mates and shoot everything that's shooting at you, or go to the marker on the map. The way that Advanced Warfare shakes things up a bit is by giving you some neat toys to play with. Even though levels are still very linear, you'll find yourself double jumping or boosting through areas, using magnet grips to scale walls, or even grappling to high ledges to progress. This is all thanks to your ever-present exosuit. You're equipped with these before each mission, and while you don't get to choose the functions yourself, you'll get a nice feel for them all by the end of the campaign. While a lot of these are contextual, the double jumps and dashes are usable almost anywhere, and it gives the game a nice speed and sense of verticality. While it may not revolutionize the COD formula, it does make the affair that much more enjoyable. On top of your exosuit, you'll get a range of tactical and lethal grenades to dispatch enemies with, and a decent variety of guns to defend yourself with as well. To break up the combat, occasionally you'll find yourself speeding through vehicle levels. These are generally pretty fun, and while still linear, they're a nice break from the norm. You'll also find the occasional interaction event, and while these are fine, some left me feeling a little weird. Hold X to pay respects, anyone? Capping off the single player, there are some upgrades that can be made to your exo, and while the thought is appreciated, the upgrades don't really do anything to change the way you play. It seems like a wasted opportunity. While the campaign is between 8 and 12 hours depending on your skill level, the game also features an Exo Survival mode on top of the usual multiplayer suite. Exo Survival is exactly that, a survival mode in which you use points to upgrade your exo to survive more. Far less interesting than the Aliens or Zombies modes of the past. The reason most people will buy Call of Duty every year is the multiplayer, and while I've since outgrown my addiction to the mayhem that is called multiplayer, Advanced Warfare is exactly what might draw me back in. The huge amount of unlockable weapons and cosmetic items keep the game feeling rewarding, but the gameplay gets a few new wrinkles as well. The double jump and dash abilities of the campaign are now readily available for use in multiplayer, and it changes the game dramatically. Past iterations would have you rely on map knowledge and fast reflexes, but increased mobility means you can attack from almost anywhere, and dash out of danger in an instant. As with the campaign, it makes for a much faster experience, and while COD veterans may not like the changes, I feel they're what the game needs to feel fresh again. At the end of the day, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare ends up being one of the premier games in the series. It still follows the same basic mission structure as previous games, but the faster gunplay and constant action will keep the players interested until the next time Kevin Spacey steals the show. While it isn't without its cringeworthy moments, the game's campaign is enjoyable, and the multiplayer adds enough new mechanics to keep it feeling fresh. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare gets the Top Hat Gamer rating of good. If you like shooters but think modern military games have gotten stale lately, then this might be the game for you. Also Kevin Spacey fans.